How do people? Hope you are very well. Today is all around how we can reduce the chances of cramp. Something which a lot of players experience, especially at the time of recording this. It is July. We are in the height of pre-season, and a lot of players tend to cramp up this time of year. And it can be a result of the intense training. It could be the lack of fitness that some players might possess, but a lot of it also comes down to the lack of nutrients, the lack of minerals, and poor nutrition. And really, I wanted to try and hone in on this element of cramping. Not so much about the fitness side of things, and maybe I'll create one in the future on how we can improve conditioning and fitness so that we reduce the chance of cramping, but actually looking at the nutrition side of things. And there'll be a lot of foods here, 10 in particular, which you may not even have realised can help you with cramping. But I wanted to share it with you and drop some gems that you can take away and implement over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Now, when we talk about cramping, they are involuntary, okay, muscle contractions. They're painful. If you've ever had cramp, you know how painful it can be. And if you've ever got cramp on two opposing muscles, for example, like the quads and the hamstrings at the same time, you need to manage because you can't straighten your leg. You can't stretch one side out and not have the other side cramping up. It's a horrible place to be in. They usually only last a few minutes, as we know. But in the final phase of a game where most players tend to cramp, it can be the difference between making that last tackle or making that last run or completing that last pass to put you forward in a goal. Like, it can be very, very fine margins sometimes. And if you're cramping, you reduce your chances of being able to impact the game in those late stages. Now, in terms of like the actual cause of cramping, it's actually unknown. A lot of research suggests if we replace certain minerals in the body like potassium, like sodium, magnesium, vitamin D, B vitamins, we could help limit the onset of cramp. But there's nothing to really definitively give us an answer on what the actual cause of cramp is. But we know if we can focus on improving our nutrition, hence why I wanted to create this, that we can definitely limit the effects of that. Also, having a good balance of electrolytes in the body, which essentially when we train intensely, we lose electrolytes through sweat. So if we can put those back into the body, we can then, again, limit the chances of ourselves getting cramp. But it's knowing what to eat, it's having a good nutrition, good diet all year round. When you want to suddenly reduce your chance of cramp, if you are cramping at the moment, it's got to be a lifestyle. It's got to be something that you implement on a day-to-day basis. Okay? We're going to get straight into it, guys. So, number one, I will highlight these, if that's a word, as we move through. Avocados, number one. Now, these are rich in potassium, they're rich in magnesium, which are what our electrolytes are. So when I was speaking about how we lose electrolytes through sweat, having a diet that's got a lot of avocado in it can be fantastic to put this into the body. It's a great addition at breakfast. Eggs, avocado, and salmon, or maybe some sourdough bread. It's a brilliant way to start the day. It's also a high protein way to start the day, which is maybe a webinar for another day. Number two, we have got fruit smoothies. The reason why is it good because you can add water to these. We can add a lot of liquids to these, and on top of the fruit, which again, things like watermelon, berries, they hydrate the body and they add the nutrients to the body. Really, really important. So if we can implement snacks like fruit smoothies, if you want to make it a little more high protein, add some Greek yogurt to it. It's a great way to stay full. It's a great way to get your protein in, but also it's going to give you hydration and nutrients that the body needs to reduce the chances of cramping. We have then got sardines and salmon, oily fishes. Anti-inflammatory foods is what an oily fish is. These are packed full of it. Anti-inflammatory fats, they're packed full of iron, which a result of having a lot of iron in your nutrition, it's going to help the oxygenation of muscle tissue, and as a result, it will help improve blood flow and nutrient delivery to the muscles. So if we've got a diet rich in sardines, a diet rich in salmon, if we have this consistently, because you can't just eat this once and expect it to have that impact on the body, but if we have a diet consistently, we're having this maybe 2-3 times a week, it can help improve blood flow and the delivery of nutrients to the muscles. And when we talk about what cramping is, it's involuntary muscle contractions. So there's something in that, and there's something within eating anti-inflammatory foods like fish, like oily fish in particular, that can have a knock-on effect to limit the onset of cramp. Remember, this isn't a 100% fix of cramp, but we want to try and limit the effects of that and try and reduce our chances of getting cramp. Oily fish is a great tool to implement. Number 4, coconut water. This is a game changer. This is one of the best tools that I've implemented personally. And if you can get your hands on coconut water, you'll be in a pretty good spot. It is an acquired taste, but it's an acquired taste because it is packed full of phosphorus, sodium, and magnesium. It's packed full of electrolytes, which are really important. And this is essentially, I like to call nature's answer to Lucozade, quite simply, to an isotonic sports drink. And if we can get this in the body, have it around training, before, during, after, load up on it, it's probably a little bit cheaper than getting Lucozade Sports as well. Not to say that Lucozade Sports aren't great, because I utilise them as well, but coconut water is a great tool to be able to implement when you need something portable. Number 5, we've got beetroot and beet greens. Now, beetroot, a lot of players are aware of implementing in their diet. Beet greens are the leafy greens from the top of the beet plant. These are actually packed full of potassium, packed full of magnesium, and other essential minerals, which are very, very, very important for muscle function. Beetroot itself is packed full of nitrates, which helps the blood flow again to your muscles, and again, enhanced blood flow is going to help to limit and reduce the chances of cramping. So if we can start to add avocado, fruit smoothies, oily fishes, coconut water, beetroot and beet greens to our diet, even if we just left it there and said those 5 alone, if you do that consistently, 100%, when you step across the white line on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday morning, you're going to be feeling very, very good, and you're going to be much more confident in your ability to last that 90 minutes. Of course, fitness comes into this, strength comes into play. There's other factors we need to consider, but if we can start to improve this nutritional area, it can impact everything else you're doing outside of your nutrition, with your training, with your recovery. We've then got sweet potato. This is a bit of a dark horse when it comes to helping to limit the onset of cramp. This can deliver over 20% of the recommended intake for potassium and 13% of your daily recommended intake for magnesium. So I would recommend starting to add some sweet potato to your dinners. Prepare it nicely. Don't fry it in oil and start making sweet potato fries. Bake it, cook it in the oven. You could maybe air fry it, so it's not packed full of you're not getting all the extra calories from the oil. But sweet potato is a fantastic and very flexible food to be adding to your nutrition. It's also packed full of fibre, and it's a good carbohydrate source as well. So it kills a lot of birds with one stone, that one, just adding sweet potato to lunch and dinner. We then got Greek yogurt. As I mentioned earlier, this could be added to the fruit smoothies. So again, it's loaded with essential nutrients and protein. It's a great snack before and after intense sessions, and it can help you to minimise your cramp as well as helping your recovery. It's been a game changer for me recently. Number 8 is pickle juice. This one here is quite a big one in America. If you're a player watching in America, you'll probably appreciate this. In the UK, it's a little bit harder to get. It's got 20 times more sodium and 8 times more potassium than an average sports drink. Just think about that. 20 times more and 8 times more. So if you can get your hands on it, it will keep the muscle cramps away for as long as possible as you build your fitness. It is a very, very valuable tool. I have tried it. The taste is a very acquired taste. I can't say it tasted great. However, it was on a very hot day, and it actually helped me massively to push through the last minutes of the games. I remember it distinctly. And I didn't really change anything else apart from adding pickle juice, and I had some around half time, and I had a little bit in the second half as well, just as a little drink when we had a little break in play, and it was a real game changer. We've also then got bananas, one of my favourites. Fast-acting carbs, again, they have essential nutrients, high in potassium. Again, that can help you with cramping. So if we look at something portable, something quick, bananas are fantastic. And really, If you're a footballer, these should probably be an absolute must in your match day or your training bag. And then finally, guys, we've got, kind of comes back to point number 5 about the beet greens, we've got leafy greens. So if you can maybe add beet greens and then spinach and kale, these will act in a similar way. They'll act in a similar way as a food group to the body. They'll contain everything you need to replace what we lose through sweat. And again, it's all about trying to reduce the chances of cramping. It might not fix the problem completely, but if we can add these 10 foods to your diet, you ask yourself the question, do you think you'll be in a better place or a worse place with your performance? I think it's probably a no-brainer, and 99% of footballers will probably say you're going to be in a better place because you're going to have all the nutrients and the minerals that you need to put yourself into the best possible position to reduce your chance of cramping. And what we do with our players in our program, we look at these foods, look at these types of food, we implement this into a nutrition plan that they enjoy and follow very, very easily. But we also pair it with really good quality training, conditioning work, making sure we're getting speed exposure, making sure we're staying lean and strong and really focus on building our strength and power. And when we put the two together, on top of really good recovery, which is something else we also focus on inside Fit for 90, suddenly we have a well-rounded program, a well-rounded approach to be able to perform the best that you possibly can when you cross that white line, whenever that might be during the week. Guys, if you find that useful, that is your 10 foods to reduce cramp. Take a screenshot, save this video, like, share, subscribe, share it with your teammates, guys that maybe you and women that you're playing with who are struggling to get through in full 90 and maybe they're cramping a lot. It might not be that they're not fit enough. It could be that they just need to tidy up the nutrition a little bit. And if you have any questions, as always, drop a comment and I will answer them. Have a good one.